Hey guys, I'll show you what we're working on today. You've seen the video before on this truck. It had a squeak in it pretty bad, and it's something up here with some of these belt driven accessories is probably the culprit. And so I'm just going to go ahead today and work on that. I'm not, you know, when something's squeaking like that, I think that's about 50 miles away from locking up. So I'm just not going to deal with that. So I just went ahead and I bought a new tensioner and a new tensioner's over there, a new idler pulley and new belt. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through and replace this. Show you what it is right down here. You see that second, that one right there, that's your tensioner. And let me get up here where I can show you a little more clearly. See, it's got a spring back behind it right there. That's the tension part of it. And I don't know if this is original. It very well could be, but the one down below it right there, that's just your idler pulley. It's just stationary. It just spins. It sits there and spins. And I don't know which could have been the culprit if it's one of these, but I hope it is. But this tensioner is moving around some anyway, so it looks like it's probably clearly seen better days. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace that, get it over with. This is not a fun job because you got to snake the serpentine belt out of here, and you can see by the routing right there, it's not easy to deal with. I'm just hoping it's not the vacuum pump. That's not a big deal to replace either. This is it right here, my hand on this. But you may ask yourself why one of these has a vacuum pump on it. Well, I'll just tell you, it's a diesel like this one of these older ones. It's not got, the air that goes into the engine is not regulated. There's no throttle blades or anything like that right there at the air intake, on the intake manifold, or plenum, or whatever you want to call it. There's no throttle valve there, so, you know, according to the Venturi principle, you know, that's what creates a vacuum underneath it. So without no throttle blades, there's no vacuum. It's just, a diesel like this is just open to the atmosphere. In other words, the whole way that you determine the acceleration of the engine is strictly by how much fuel it gets. You have a injector pump right there, and then you see it's got the fuel lines coming out of the back of it, and that's what has the throttle cable attached to it. And so the more fuel sent to the injectors right there, the more fuel sent out to the injectors, the faster the engine runs. Very, very simple principle. So that's how that works. That's why there's no vacuum. So if you got power, you know, power brakes and climate control things and stuff like that you need vacuum to run, then you got to have a vacuum pump. You got to have an external source of vacuum for it. So that's why they have vacuum pumps. I can't speak for the later model of these newer diesel engines. I don't know if they still do, but of course they got a lot of electronics and things like that loaded up on them. And but this one does, and the Mercedes also back there that I have, it has a mechanical vacuum pump as well. So, and yeah, so that's what I'm working on, guys. And I've got to probably after I get this done one day, pretty soon I'm gonna have to put a couple of hoses on it too, I guess, because I was underneath it and I was looking at something under it, and I noticed that the negative battery cable over here is right up against the bottom radiator hose, and it's like to put a hole in it from rubbing on it. So I'll deal with that. Here's this new belt that's going to go on. You can kind of see I think this belt's if I'm reading the number right on it, I think this belt's 110 inches long. So yeah, it's like dealing with a snake under there, fighting with it. So show you something else real quickly. It's a little bit interesting. These diesel engines, they have a mechanical lift pump on them. You see right down in there? You see that? You can just kind of see the side of it that looks like a mechanical fuel pump. Well, that's what it is. These actually have an engine-driven mechanical lift pump. See it? It's got an output line right there. It comes up, it comes up, comes up, comes up, comes right to the filter housing. So that's kind of intriguing. So yeah, give you a few little tidbits of how diesel engines operate here. So, all right, guys. Well, let me get back at it. So we'll see you later. Bye.